Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and today we're going to take a look at the new Hermes items. So there are 3 new blushes from Hermes, and these are going to be a little bit different than the other blushes. These have an iridescent finish. We also have the new Rosy Lip Enhancer in Rose Confetti, number 27. And this is also going to be different than the other lip enhancers, which are more of a matte lip balm. This is going to be more of a satin lip balm. So we're going to take a look at those. And I did want to mention they also released a whole bunch of new lipsticks. I have a video with the majority of those because they released at Selfridges back in the fall. So I will leave that linked down below. But I did also recently pick up the Rose Bruyere shade. I mean, this looks like it's going to be the perfect rose lipstick. So I'm actually going to do a whole video with this and a bunch of other new makeup coming up very, very soon. So stay tuned for that, but it looks stunning. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with the blushes. Let's start off talking about the details of these blushes, and then we'll move into swatches and comparisons, following all of that up with the Rosy Lip Enhancer. So the blushes retail for $83 US. So far, I've only seen them available on the Hermes website. However, there are certain locations of Saks stores that have them available in person if you would like to see them. They don't have, at least to my knowledge, they don't have all of the shades, but there are certain stores that have a select few shades of the new items, including the new lipstick shades. So definitely something worth checking out. They should be available at more retailers soon. So as I mentioned, they're $83 US, and those prices have definitely gone up since the blushes originally launched a few years ago now. And these are going to have the same base formula. However, these have an iridescent finish instead of that soft matte. So according to Hermes, these new silky blush creations add a subtle touch of pink enhanced by a shimmering veil of light. Their ultra-light pigmented texture that is both airy and compact. It is enriched with subtle mother of pearl microparticles for a delicately iridescent finish. And I have to say, one of the things I really like about these is that they have shimmer. They have that iridescent finish, but if you just use one layer, as you can see in the demos, one layer is going to give you a soft, subtle glow. And building it up, you can really make that more blingy, like a highlighter. So I love the variability that you can get with this product, and the fact that there are no glitter particles in this. I don't see any chunks of glitter. You know, everything is so incredibly finely milled that it really does give you just more of that iridescent finish. Now, as for their nod to pink, I don't find these to be that pink. Let's take a look at the actual shade descriptions from Hermes. 35 Rose Dore. So we're looking at a golden rose shade here. And according to Hermes, it's a radiant and elegant coral pink, elevated by golden reflections. We definitely have a gold iridescence with this when you build that up. But to me, it's not really all that much of a coral. So we'll take a look at that with the swatches in just a minute. And then 47 Rose Ambre. And there's another Rose Ambre, O-M-B-R-E. This is A-M-B-R-E, like amber. So this is going to be your amber rose. And we're looking at a silky, delicate beige pink with a pearly shell-like shimmer. And I have to say, on my face, I feel like both 35 and 47 look pretty similar. They're pretty close. The 47 Rose Ambre, that is going to be a little bit deeper. You know, it's kind of like, you know, your Rose Dores for the lighter skin tones. This is going to be more suitable for light medium. And then we have 58 Rose Cuivre. This is actually what I'm wearing today through the video as well. And this is described as a powerful crimson pink elevated by dazzling hints of gold. And, you know, to me, this is more of a soft, almost soft burgundy with a touch of gold in here, but this one actually comes across as the coolest of the 3 shades. And let's take a look at those swatches. before we start with the swatches, just a quick look at the packaging here. It is going to be exactly the same as the original blushes. So this is the original blush. We can see our size and everything is the same. So the original, this one here is 37 Rose Poivre. This is 6 grams of product, whereas the new one here is 6.7 grams of product. So just something to note there. There is a slight difference. We still have a 1-year shelf life for both products, and these are made in Italy. Now, when you purchase this, it does come in your traditional Hermes packaging with the pull-through box, and there is a little plastic piece that goes on top of the powder. So let's start off with swatches. We've got 35 Rose Dore, and you know, I think it's a really pretty, more of a soft peach. They're calling this coral. I find it, you know, they're actually referring to it as a pink coral. I actually think it's a little bit more peachy. So there's our swatch of Rose Dore. Let me buff out a little bit here so you can see what that looks like. And I actually really like this color. I think this is a great blush shade. It's kind of your peachy pink kind of shade. If you build this up though, it does get a little bit too golden for me, but using a light layer, I think this is, you know, a great everyday shade. I really like this one. Actually, I think all 3 of the shades are beautiful and, you know, have, you know, a good time to use all of them. So we've got 47 Rose Ambre, and this is going to be a bit deeper. And you can see that this one is going to have slightly more orange in here. This is going to be a little bit warmer, and the reflect on Rose Dore is definitely golden. This is going to be a little bit, it's golden, but it's like a little bit of a more orangey gold, whereas this looks a little bit more yellow gold. So just something to note, and that could be because of the base color, how that comes across. And this is 58 Rose Cuivre. And as I mentioned, this one's actually my favorite. I like this one the most. This is what I'm wearing right now. You can see it's really kind of this soft red, kind of like a burgundy red. It does lean warm. And when you buff this out though, you know, I think if you just use a little bit on fair skin, it just gives this really beautiful, you know, kind of healthy flush to the skin. You do get a little bit of golden iridescence here, but because this base color is a little bit cooler, I feel like it comes across not quite as yellow as the lighter shades do. So let me know what you think, because you could really see that during the cheek swatches. During the cheek swatches, I wanted to really show you what they looked like built up, so you could really see the tone of the iridescence in there. So I used 2 different brushes. I used the blush brush from Hermes. This is the angle blush brush. And then I also used the KZ, well, actually the KZ5 from SUQQU, which is discontinued, but this is going to be soft Kazan squirrel hair versus dyed goat hair. And this quality of the goat is not, you know, a super soft. It's a little bit of a lower quality goat, which makes it a little bit firmer and, you know, a little bit more, it's not really that the density is there, but it has more grip. It acts like a denser brush would. And the shape of this Hermes blush brush also, you know, kind of increases your density of this as well. So just something to note. So that will put it on a little bit more strongly than the softer KZ brushes will. However, you could see that you could really build it up with both brushes, which is something really great about these particular blush formulas, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and do some arm swatches with some other Hermes shades. This one is 37 Rose Poivre. This is actually my favorite of the blush shades, and I'm going to do these vertically so we can kind of see the difference. You can see this is going to be much more of a softer pink. It's cooler in tone than all of these. This is 61 Rose Feu, and I wanted to compare this to the Rose Cuivre. And you could see here the difference in the tone. This is a little bit cooler in tone. It's a little bit more neutral red, whereas this is going to have a little bit more warmth to it. But it is going to be similar in color. If Rose Feu is a shade that you wear a lot and you're looking for something with an iridescent finish, I think this is a great a great way to kind of just add a little bit something different to it. This is 23 Rose Blush. This is another one that I like a lot. We're going to go ahead and put this one right up here. And you can see this is going to be a little bit more of a brighter peach kind of shade, but it has a little bit of kind of like that neon vibe to it in comparison. 49 Rose Tan. And let's take a look at Rose Tan next to Rose Ambre. And you can see that the base shades of those are going to be pretty close. However, this one here, Rose Ambre, is just a little bit more, there's a little bit more beige or brown in there, where we've got a little bit more of kind of like that golden orange in Rose Tan. This is 45 Rose Ombre, O-M-B-R-E, and let's go ahead and see how this compares. We're going to put that right there. You can see that the base tone of this is going to be a little bit cooler, has a little bit more mauve in there in comparison to the Rose Dore, but that's going to be your closest comparison there. And then last up, this is 19 Rose Apricot. And let's put that one right here, see how that compares. You can see this is a little bit lighter than Rose Ambre, and it's actually got a little bit more of that like brighter peach to it in comparison. So those are my Hermes comparisons. I also wanted to take a look at this Sisley L'Orchidee blush. This is number 1, the original. And I wanted to see, this one kind of made me think a little bit of the Rose Ombre. Let's squeeze that in there. If you really get some of the red from the orchid in there, it really doesn't match super well. This is going to be more subtle in the shimmer finish for this. You don't get like those iridescent reflections that you get with the Hermes, but this will give you a subtle shimmer as well. It's kind of one of those blush lighters. And then I also wanted to take a look at the new Bobbi Brown. These are the brightening blushes. These are limited edition. These are going to be a shimmery blush. So these will have a bit more of that super finely milled shimmer versus the iridescence. This one here is blushed burgundy. I'm just going to mix all 3 of the shades in the compact together. But I wanted to compare that. You can see how close blushed burgundy is to the Rose Cuivre. So they're going to be pretty close. Your difference is really going to be mostly in your finish. This will give you a subtle shimmer, whereas this will give you a subtle iridescence. And you get a little bit more warmth in this because of the gold reflection. This one here is blushed bronze. And let's take a look at this. We don't have a lot of space. We're going to squeeze that right there in between both Rose Dore and Rose Ambre. You can see that this is going to be a little bit more brown. It's also a cooler tone brown. It doesn't have the warmth of those 2 shades. And again, this will have a bit more shimmer in it versus iridescence. And last up, this is blushed peach. And this one, I love this shade. This is only, I haven't seen it on the US site for Bobbi Brown. If you're interested in this, I purchased mine from Selfridges. Here it is. You can see this is definitely going to be a softer peach shade in comparison. And you can actually see a more shimmer in this one here. So those are my comparisons for the Hermes blushes. Overall, I would have to say that I really like them. I think they are a really versatile shimmery blush because you don't have any sort of chunks of glitter and you can really build up the level of reflection that you want. However, I do find that these all, as I said, they have a gold reflection in general. So you're going to get warmth with all 3 of the shades. The coolest one on my skin, I think, is really going to be more so the Rose Cuivre because that red kind of cools things off a little bit. But the Rose Dore is, with that gold reflection, it really ends up being warmer. But the base shade is a pretty neutral peach shade. So here we go. And you can kind of see that the base does have a little bit of pink in there. It's just on the skin because of that gold reflection. You're not really going to see too much pink. It's really going to be more of a warmer tone shade. So let's go ahead and talk about the Rosy Lip Enhancer. Now, the Rosy Lip Enhancer is going to be a soft satin lip balm, you know, sort of a tinted lip balm from Hermes. They have quite a few products that are kind of similar in their line. So we have the Poppy Lip Shine, and we also have the High Shine lipsticks from them. So we're going to talk about those and the formulas. But first, just a quick description from Hermes. These retail for $74 US. And the Rosy Lip Enhancer originally came out in 3 shades. Those were all matte lip balms. This one here is going to be our first in a satin finish. And the shade is called Rose Confetti. And according to Hermes, it's a playful pink with hints of blue, illuminating your lips with its radiant and fresh confetti-like color. That part really confuses me because to me, confetti can be any color. So confetti-like color, I'm not quite sure I understand where they're going with that. But the actual lip enhancer here was inspired by the softness of Milo leather. The fine, imperceptible texture glides across the lips, leaving a light veil of color for a natural look. So that's the description for this particular lip enhancer from Hermes. And I have to say, I think it's a really nice lip enhancer. It is $74. So is this going to be something for everybody? Obviously not. We have a 1-year shelf life. It's made in Italy here, and we have 3.5 grams of product. Let's swatch the Rosy Lip Enhancer. Now, first of all, you can see here's our bullet. Let me just show you the matte lip balm here as well. You can see I've used this one quite a bit, but you can see the texture of the bullets for both of them. You can see how we've got more of that velvety texture on the matte balm, and we're going to swatch all of the other shades as well. But let's start off here with the Rose Confetti, which is number 27. So I have one sheer layer, and then I built it up a little bit. And you can see it's really going to be a soft, cool tone pink. Now, one of the great things about these Rosy Lip Enhancers, in my opinion, is the packaging. So these are the 3 matte ones that have come out. And this is our new one in the satin. So you can see these all have more of that matte texture on the bottom. And we have a shiny finish down here. You can see this is going to be a cooler tone pink. The shades sort of, go with these. And if you're not familiar with the Hermes lipsticks, they also come in the orange pull-through box, and there's like a little canvas, little canvas case for it. I honestly never use those. So we have the Hermes logo on the top. We have a magnetic lid, and these are refillable. So you can purchase refills. You can also fit your lipstick refills in here. So it's, pick a case that you like. So let's take a look at the originals here. And I do want to just mention that the original lip enhancer is actually 4 grams of product. So the new one is 3.5 grams. So you can see there is a slight difference. And this one here is 14 Rose Apricot. And this is going to be a soft peach. Now, these do become a little bit more pigmented, from the pH on your lips. They're not really changing color like a pH indicator lipstick will, but they are going to become just a little bit more pronounced in color. However, they're very light. So this is 30 Rose de Tay. And you can see that here we have another pink. This is going to be a little bit of a warmer pink, but it's still going to be like a little on the cooler side. So it's a neutral leaning cool pink versus a cool tone pink. You can definitely see you've got hints of blue in the satin versus this one here, which has a subtle satin matte finish to it. And then last up, we have 49 Rose Tan. And let's see where we can put that. And you can see this is going to be the deepest of them. And it really does go along with these blushes. This was the, actually, the Rose Tan is this one here. But you can see it actually goes better with the Rose Cuivre and the Rose Feu from the original line. So these are our enhancers: Rose Confetti, Rose Apricot, Rose de Tay, and Rose Tan. Now let's talk a little bit about these formulas here. The Hermes lip enhancers in the matte formula are a very nice matte lip balm. They were kind of a little bit more on the innovative side when they launched because matte lip balms weren't really a thing. I'm not saying they were the first one ever, but they were one of the first ones in the mainstream market. And if you consider Hermes mainstream, but you know, I find that it's actually got a really nice texture. It's not drying on the lips. I don't find it to be incredibly moisturizing or hydrating, but it does add a little bit. So it's a little bit of soft hydration. And they're gonna last, you know, 1 to 2 hours, and then you feel the need to reapply. So it's not incredibly long lasting on the lips. Now, the new Satin one in Rose Confetti, also you're looking at 1 to 2 hours wear time on the lips, and you're going to have a little bit more hydration on the lips than you do with the matte lip balms. I find it to be very comfortable, kind of a soft, balmy, glossy kind of feel on your lips, definitely not sticky at all. And it's gonna have a little bit of a thinner texture than some of the other Hermes lip products like this one here. This is one of my favorites. This is the Hermes Brilliant lipstick. So these are one of the high shine ones in the Poppy Shine. So this was kind of the first shine product they have. And I have to say, mine's like pretty empty here. This is one of my favorite products. So this does have shimmer in it. And you can see you have kind of this soft orange. This one here is a little bit creamier, even compared to my newer high shine lipsticks from Hermes. So the texture of this is just a little bit thicker on the lips. It's a little bit more emollient. Is it offering more hydration? That's really hard to say or hard to judge, but it will last a little bit longer on the lips because it is going to be a slightly thicker formula. I also went to take a look at one of the other Brilliant lipsticks. So this is 38 Rose Nymphaea. This was a limited edition one that came out, and I wanted to see how that compared to the Rose Confetti. So the lipsticks are going to be more pigmented, which you can see straight off the bat. And this is going to have a thinner texture than the Poppy Lip Shine. The Poppy Lip Shine is a little bit thicker, more emollient feeling, but it's not going to be quite as thin as the Rose Confetti. This one's going to be kind of in the middle in the thickness of the texture. Our pigmentation is going to be stronger than the lip enhancer. And, you know, some of these shades can even be stronger than the Poppy Lip Shine as well. Because again, if you're looking at this, you can probably even tell just from the swatches. You can see that we have a shiny finish here, but it's going to be kind of a thinner texture. But when you're looking at this in the Poppy, you can see a little bit more of kind of like that clear shine on there, which is just a little bit thicker, giving it a little bit more of a textural difference there. So you can kind of actually just see the textural difference from the swatches there. You can also see, you know, because of this, because there's a little bit thicker of that translucent shine on there, it is going to be a little bit less pigmented on the lips in comparison with something like the Brilliant lipsticks that have been coming out since. The Poppy Lip Shine's kind of on its own. It's kind of separate. You know, it is a little bit different than the other Brilliant lipsticks, but they are technically all in the same line. They were kind of inspired by that. And the Rosy Lip Enhancer, you know, this is going to be, you know, it's meant to be more of a slightly tinted lip balm with a satin finish. And that's kind of where it falls. But it is just going to be, you know, less wear time on there. We're looking at 1 to 2 hours, but very comfortable, beautiful packaging, beautiful product on the lips. I have to say, out of the 4 lip enhancers, this new one is my favorite. I do tend to prefer satin formulas in general. And this cooler pink tone, I just think is gorgeous. I love the little bits of blue that you can kind of see peeking through. I wouldn't say that you see blue on your lips, but it definitely just kind of cools things off a little bit and gives this really beautiful hint of color. So again, one more time, we have Rose Nymphaea, Poppy Lip Shine. This is the new lip enhancer in Rose Confetti. We have Rose Apricot, Rose D'été, and Rose Tan. And I have to say, I really like all of them. In general, I would have to say that Hermes is a pretty solid makeup brand. They have definitely had some misses, but I would say that their hits definitely overwhelm the misses. And, you know, I think when they first launched their lipsticks originally, the very first time they launched them, they made some subtle improvements to the formula since then. And I would have to say that, you know, I think their formulas are fantastic. If you are looking to spend luxury prices on a lipstick and you want something that's worth that money, I think the Hermes lipsticks definitely fit that category. You know, they have really, you know, improved since they first launched. They're now like one of the best formulas, in my opinion. They're really great. And they have a lot to choose from, a lot of, you know, different textures and finishes and a variety of colors. So definitely something worth looking into. I personally also really like their blushes. They've had some products come out that, you know, haven't always been the best. Like, for example, they had a highlighter that I really didn't like and so forth. But they definitely have some great products. And, you know, if you are looking for things in that luxury price range for either a nice gift or to treat yourself, you know, I think this is definitely a brand worth looking into, and I'm really happy with the new shades that they released. Now, as for the blushes, the new blushes, I really like all three of these. However, my only wish is that they had included some cooler tone shades with some other shades of iridescence. I would have loved to see something similar to this shade of pink in the Rose Confetti, or something even with a little bit more purple, like a purpley pink with a white or opalescent or silver iridescence in there. Something a little bit cooler in tone. Rose gold would have been gorgeous as well. So, you know, I do hope that in the future they'll expand this line and add some cooler tone shades, but I think that these three are a nice start, and I really like the particular finish and how buildable it is. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've tried any of these, and I will keep the description box updated as new retailers continue to start carrying these. But at the moment, I purchased mine from Hermes. So don't forget to stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet for the video with the Rose Bruyere, and I will leave the video with the other new shades of the lipstick linked down below in the description box. So definitely check that out. There are some great shades. I think they are particularly really great for the fall in general, but this Rose Bruyere looks like it's going to be like the perfect everyday rose shade for me. So can't wait to try that out. I'll be testing that out very soon. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon.